Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jesus here with the Van Bros. So PBO got support. That's pretty cool. And one of the most popular recent-ish deck profiles on the channel is PBO. So I figured, hey, let's show some love to the big ol' dragon. So as you can see on the screen, this is the new unit that PBO received. So what we're gonna do is go over some of its lists. So the first list that we're looking at here is more of a traditional list. This list is so just to say, neither of the lists that I'm gonna show today have like PBD. PBD is cool. Like having a Vanguard that consistently has a critical like is really nice. But it's just like, unless you made a custom card, like they gave like Overlord to PBO, there's not much that we can do, and there's not much reason to run PBD. So yeah, we're running PBO, just PBO as the only like grade 3 blaster, but it's probably a little hard to see here, but don't worry, I'm gonna have the deck codes available. This list is more traditional because it runs the Keter package. Now there's some pros and cons to this list. One of the biggest cons is just the fact that like it's boring. Like the Keter package, I hate to say it, it's great, I love it, but it's so boring to play. It's hard to suggest to people because of the expense, like how expensive it is. Now both of these lists are a little expensive because of the fact that the Nebula Knights order is here. But again, these decks are like it honestly, if you are going to spend money to build this deck, do not buy the Nebula Knights order. Pick up the Wisdom order, or honestly just go without an order package. The orders are great, but there are better alternatives out there. I don't have any on this list, but I can definitely like suggest some in the comments below. This first list is a bit more traditional in the sense that we have our Teeth Vaults, we have our Order, we have our Sir Gown. Our trigger lineup is the same in both lists. This list runs 6 copies of the promo, 4 copies of the new Judgment Dragon, and 2 copies of the original promo. The con of the original promo is the fact that she doesn't work if your opponent is not grade 3, but Judgment Dragon fixes that, and you can now do all your drives with Blaster Dark from the get-go. You don't have to go second and kind of neg really hard. We run extra Blaster Darks because this list can also give Blaster Dark multiple drive checks. The nice thing is there's not much in this list. I think Blaster Dark is the only unit in this list that counterblasts. So you do not have to worry about countercharging. You do not have to worry about using up too much of a resource because Blaster Dark is the only one that's going to be using that resource. The nice thing about Blaster Dark is also the fact that the Twin Drive is optional with Blaster Dark. His thing is counterblast 1, retire a unit, and then your opponent retires a unit, or you retire your opponent's unit. And this unit gains Twin Drive for the turn, and then he has a continuous where he gains an additional 5k. That's really nice. Judgment Dragon, Judgment Hades Dragon, has the skill that when he would be retired by the cost of the ability of your Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, it may be regarded as retiring 2 units. So that's a really nice thing. It's the same as the other promo. It also has the skill that when it is retired from rear by the ability of your Vanguard with Blaster in its name, Energy Blast 3, choose a Blaster Dark on your rear circle, and it gets the red text. Once per turn when this unit attacks, this unit performs drive checks until the end of that battle. At the end of the battle, retire the unit until end of turn. So this list is nice, but this list will also run out of steam pretty quickly. It doesn't have that much longevity. Also, one of the cons is the Nebula Knights order is a grade 3. And so that means that if you have a handful of Teeth Vaults and Sir Gowns, it's nice to have for your rush in turn 2, but you're still calling so many cards in from hand, and you're not really making up for that. Unlike the original Keter package, where you could start from the get-go on turn 2. The con with that is the fact that it costs a counterblast. Now, maybe you could get away with running both, but the Nebula Knights order is also really good. Because it also fits into Judgment Hades Dragon, as well as Coco's skills of putting it into the soul, just to soul blast it out later with your Dissection Angel, as well as Teeth Vault too. So it's a good way to get cards from hand into the drop by also turning it into a resource. So this is the more traditional list. We have a different type of list here as well. We have a Highroll list. So this list is actually a little bit more fun. It doesn't have as much of the Keter package in it. We got rid of the Teeth Vault because Teeth Vault doesn't work as well as early game as the other list. But even then, this list doesn't even have that much early game advantage either. As you can see, we'll replace the Teeth Vault with a copy of the Grade 2. What's his face? Doring. He's really nice. He's a tried and true favorite. When he's placed on rear, if your Vanguard has only one clan, Soul Blast one and discard a card from hand. Choose a card with only the same clan as your Vanguard's clan from your drop and put it to hand. He's cool because you can cycle through your Blaster Darks. You can cycle through your Judgment Dragons. Because of the fact that they're Shadow Paladins, you can also cycle through and add your Astras back. The cool thing is that when you Soul Blast a discard, you can discard your Nebula Knight's Order. You can discard a Blaster Dark, because Blaster Dark can be called from the drop by PBO. I wouldn't be discarding Blaster Dark too often though, mainly because you want to have at least one in hand so that you can call the other from PBO, or PBO's effect, to get multiple attacks. But that's pretty much like why he's there. Then we also have this one's a little cheeky. A lot of decks in Japan are using this. Reedy. Reedy is greedy. Soul Blast 2. Until the end of turn, increase the trigger effects revealed by your drive check by +5. So you're doing a lot of drive checks. You're doing Twin Drive with Blaster Dark at least multiple times in the turn. You can get up to 6 checks in one turn, which is crazy. But very situational, so it's not realistic that it's going to happen. But you have so many ways to get enough soul for it to actually work out. But yeah, Reedy's nice. It's on the list. So another thing too between the two lists that we have here is the fact that we also have alternative ride lines. So in both of the lists, you saw that we have Tranquilla as well as Full Bow. If you want to run a less, if you want to run a less like riskier ride line, because sometimes there are 1 in 5 games where you may not have a grade, like 3 different grades to activate it, and now you don't have a Twin Drive Blaster Dark. Little Sage Marin and Wingle Brave can help you out in that because it's consistently able to bring out a unit to retire. Alternatively, you can run Little Sage Marin and Wingle Brave. But that's pretty much it. I have the deck blocks right here. If you want to take a better look, Bushy Road has the shittiest deck image repository in the world. So this is probably an easier way to see the lists. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these lists. Let me know what your lists are looking like for PBO, and let me know if you guys like this version of a deck profile. I think this is a little cooler just because we can show a graphic on screen. Not only that, but we can look at alternatives. So let me know, and have a great night, and share the video and comment down below.